So I'm here with Floodlands, and would you like to introduce yourselves and what you do in the band?
Absolutely. My name is Tom, and I barely play guitar, and I barely sing.
I'm Jim. I play bass, and I sing sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Bill. I play drums.
I'm Eric. I play rhythm guitar.
And how long has this lineup been a thing?
About 2 years now.
Okay.
Yep.
So who's the newest members?
Eric.
Okay.
Just him.
Yep. Just him. That's it.
So how many of you played in 2020 when we had you?
Me, Jimmy.
The three of us.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Mhm.
I'm pretty face blind,
Yeah.
but I actually recognized most of you. It was like, but I also saw you at Rick's show.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So-
That was a great show. It was a good time.
I'm like, how many of them played 4.5 years ago? You
Yeah.
were one of the only 2020 bands.
I mean, come on. Of all the bands here, you don't remember?
There, I'll be honest. Nathan and I sometimes go down the list of bands that played, and we'll come across a name and go, I don't know who that was.
I mean, that's the reaction we usually get.
Well, and it's a lot of times it's a band who was brand new.
Yeah.
They played one time.
Yeah.
Maybe did a couple local shows and broke up.
Yeah, fair enough.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And we've never heard about them since. And we're looking back, 6 years going, I don't know. And then we're like looking at pictures or video going,
Yep.
oh yeah, these guys, okay.
I'm the same way. I'm good with faces, but I'm terrible with names. Like, awful with names.
Yeah, I'm face blind.
Yeah.
So I'll know I know somebody. I believe you came up to me at a
I
show
did.
you weren't playing.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I knew you,
Yeah.
and I knew I liked you.
Yeah,
And so
absolutely.
we're talking,
Yeah.
and we get done, and Rick walks over. I'm like, who was I talking to? And he tells me, I'm like, oh, that makes sense because I
Yeah.
liked him. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I work for a credit union and I do the same thing where it's like I know faces, but names, like I even after like years of working for it, I still have to be like, oh, what's your account number? Like I have to look up the account itself to be able to say, oh yeah, I remember you. What's up, John? I still have to do that, so it's all good. So this is revenge actually for that.
Oh.
Yeah.
okay.
So now I get the treatment. It's all good.
So you're out of Binghamton, right?
Yes, we are.
And altogether, how long has this been a thing?
This has been a thing for since 2000.
2017.
Yeah, 2017.
Like the fall of 2017.
Mm-hmm.
I think it might have been October.
It was
Hard-
October.
hard to
Do you remember the minute and a second we walked in the room?
Definitely.
Nope, but I remember that somehow.
How many of you were in the original lineup?
The three of us. So it was
Okay.
me, Jimmy, and Bill.
Yep.
Okay. And what happened to your other member?
He got
He
sick of
replaced.
us. No, he basically is like, these guys are awful people, and we're leaving. You know?
Oh, I
that's
see.
all. No, Jason's he's a great friend of mine, and he just didn't want to commit to being a band full time. That's all there is. So he's an amazing guitar player. He's still doing his own projects,
And that happens a lot.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
Love him.
Yep. Yeah, our second song we played tonight, he had a big hand in writing that. So that's mostly him.
Was that the only old song you played?
Actually, that song was actually on the new album. The only old song we
Okay.
played was the fourth one, Mother's a Shame.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So you put out you have 2 records out.
Yes.
First one is,
First one is Sea of Sarin,
and that came out in,
2019.
okay, and the new one,
It's called Universe 25 and came out late 2023 in December.
okay. What does that mean, Universe 25?
So Universe 25, it was an experiment that was done in the 70s where they created basically a rodent utopia. Gave a group of rodents every possible resource that they could ever need. They don't have to fend for food, they don't have to fight, they don't have to do anything other than just exist. And what happened is that during the experiment, all the rodents started turning on each other. They did start fighting because there wasn't anything else to do. So it's kind of an analogy for like everything that's going on in the world right now. It's kind of like, hey, we have so many resources. This is the greatest period of human history, but we're doing all these things to screw it up, and we're just being awful to each other. We're treating each other like crap. We're doing all these awful things, and it's basically a thinly veiled concept album when it comes to that.
Okay. All right. It's and that's true in a way, but at the same time, we could be doing so much more rather than fighting with each other.
Exactly, and that's exactly what the frustration is when it comes to the lyrics in the album. So I agree.
Tribalism is such a horrible human trait.
It really is, and it's hard because like I'll stay up at night sometimes. I'll think about it, like, okay, can we like outgrow tribalism? But then again, it's like you know, the nature to nurture thing. Like, you know, maybe we're just, you know, it's part of our lizard brain, and we won't ever outgrow it, and we just have to find a way to modify it. You know?
I think I don't know if we'll outgrow it because I think it's useful to have, you know, we function better in small groups.
I agree with that too.
It's a matter of not fighting the other groups.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, you're in a different group? That's fine.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. 100% agree. Yeah, we can learn a lot from that right now.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So you said it's a thinly veiled concept record.
Yeah.
So it's not like direct song to song like story.
Yes and no. I mean, and it's only because I have really bad, you know, storytelling skills. It's not because of a lack of effort, you know. But yeah, it's just mainly about how, you know, we have all these resources and we just, you know, don't seem to know what to do with them. And there's a lot of frustration and a lot of wasted energy and wasted time and resources when it comes to things that we could be doing instead. So, and it's like mainly based in natural disasters and geography, and you know, I'm a huge geography and, you know, weather nerd, so that's kind of where the analogies come from.
Well, where'd the name Floodlands come from?
So actually, I don't.
Nick came up with the
Our old guitar player Nick came up.
Yeah, our first guitar player singer
Yeah.
came up with it.
That's right. And I thought it was perfect because, like, I'm a weather nerd. I used to watch the Weather Channel when I was 5 years old, like all the time. That's not even a joke. And I'm like, yeah, I could use that in a lot of lyrical themes, so it fit the band perfectly.
Plus, Binghamton was flooded like in 2006 and 2011, so we thought it kind of fit, you know, our, you know, hometown. I guess.
Right.
Did it look like this?
No, I mean, that's just how it felt like it looked like at the time, you know.
The album cover is pretty awesome. Who did the album cover?
Our old guitar player, Jason Krieger.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It is really, I don't know if you saw it, but it looks really good.
Yeah.
How did I not see that? I guess I just have the files.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, you know. But yeah, he, it's funny because one day after he left the band, like I said, he's still one of my best friends. I love the dude. And I wanted him to be a part of it somehow. And he's like, here, check this out. Look at what I did. And I'm like, okay, that's it. That's the album cover. You know?
Oh, yeah.
That's literally all there was to it.
Jason actually plays on one of the songs on the record too. I can't remember which one.
Thunderhead.
Thunderhead.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he does a solo on there.
That's right.
So, you put this out in 2020. How did the pandemic affect you guys?
A lot.
Been playing for a long time.
Yeah, well, we
All the shows we had
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah,
Well, like I
basically.
said, you played the studio the first time right before the pandemic.
Right before the pandemic.
And then did you ever get to the point where you were thinking of breaking up, or?
No, it was
No.
weird because it was a weird period where we were frustrated that I'll speak for myself, I was frustrated I couldn't play live music.
Right.
And I felt like because, you know, everything else closed down, I was more prolific. I was writing a lot more. I felt like I had more ideas, and I was just waiting for a time period to be able to do it all again. So I was excited, like, okay, I really hope live music comes back sometime soon because I can't wait to get these songs out. I really like what I'm writing. And I felt like in a lot of ways, not having all the usual distractions made me like more prolific as a songwriter. So that's how it affected me.
Okay. So many bands broke up during the pandemic, which I really didn't understand.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you got a break.
Yeah.
Why are you breaking up?
Well, right, exactly. Did you like not like each other?
More free time to get together.
Exactly.
Well, if you're wearing the mask.
Right.
Right,
You know.
exactly.
But even after, I mean, that did, in retrospect, that didn't last as long as it felt like it did.
No,
True.
and I agree with that. I mean, it's kind of the old saying, you know, time goes faster when you're having fun, and when you're not and you're bored or something to do, it just feels like it lasts forever, you know. So.
Well, plus when you're being denied being able to do anything, you know, any kind of entertainment outside of staying home.
Exactly.
And it was forced, and it didn't feel like there was this time limit, like we didn't really know.
Yeah.
And I think bands had already had so many things in place, and the disappointment of that, some musicians just didn't handle it very well at all.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I think it did a lot, you know, to our, you know, collective psyche in a lot of ways. You know, I definitely know on a personal level, I tend to look at things and approach things a little differently now than, you know, pre-pandemic. You know, there's like a lot of things I think about now that I didn't think about before. And,
Yeah.
And I find that in some ways it really molds and changes your habits too. I know it changed a lot of mine.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
And also we built a performance studio
And that was the best contribution I've seen from the band, for real. I love it in there. It sounded so fun. It was so fun. I literally was about to say, it sounded so fun. I wanted to combine the two statements together. But yeah, it sounded great in there, and it was a really good time.
And the air conditioning works very good.
Yes.
I love that.
Except for Bill. Bill was still complaining about it.
He was right in front of it.
Yeah, exactly. And he made sure to set up right in front of the air conditioner if you watch the video. Like right there.
Well, that's where we wanted. That's why why we set the drummers there. You know?
Exactly. It's a good idea. He was into it.
I love that.
I mean, because that's the thing. I mean, we never would have stopped having live bands at the radio station.
Right.
We never would have went to a more pre-recorded format for the show.
Right.
And by doing that, we enabled ourselves to bring in people from all over the country to co-host.
Which is incredible.
All over the world to co-host.
Yeah.
Because it's no longer, just hang out on Skype for 6.5 hours, in the middle of the night.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like we can do it whenever. We'll just record. As I was saying to you, we had right from the beginning. One of the first things I thought is, all these musicians are home. I wonder if I can get any of them to co-host the show.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to just do an interview. I wanted to have them come on, talk about their careers, talk about the things they personally like.
Exactly.
And I think the first one I did that with was Adrienne Cowan.
Oh, nice.
She's one of my favorite vocalists, and she was totally down. And what was funny to me is at the time she was 23, and she was so excited about being on terrestrial radio.
Yeah. That is awesome. That's very cool.
But then I reached out to people, I'm like, oh, who else what other musicians do I really like? What about vocalists for Violence?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I'm down.
Nice. That's awesome. That's super cool. I think, a lot of people, they just wanted to do something, and you have an incredible thing going on here. I mean, the room that was so fun to play, and the setup is perfect. I mean, I would, invite any of my friends to be able to play that place. It was a lot of fun for us to play.
And as much as I like doing it at the radio station. I like doing live shows.
Yeah.
But as far as the bands performing here, we have better sound because Nathan can do whatever he needs.
Exactly.
We have way better lighting.
Yeah, lighting was
it's a slightly bigger room. It may not feel like it because there's a lower ceiling, but it's actually a bigger space.
It is a bigger space. That felt bigger to me.
And you have the coolest posters.
Exactly.
I mean,
we do have the coolest posters.
We can literally do anything we want with it.
Yeah.
And I don't have to restrict bands, like at a radio station, you're not allowed to bring alcohol.
Right.
The FCC is like, no, you cannot have alcohol but this isn't on the radio.
That's right.
It will be later.
Yeah.
But I don't have to worry about it.
That's
So
right.
it's like, just don't get drunk, and I don't care.
Exactly. Too late for me, but no. No, this is Arizona Icy. It's all this is. It's all it is. Just cover this up here.
So, how does your songwriting come together?
Basically, I'll have a collection of riffs, and I'm kind of a songwriting nerd, and I study a lot of songwriters. I'm kind of fascinated by, actually, Kurt Cobain is one of my favorite songwriters of all time, and he was probably my first musical influence. And
I remember you doing a Nirvana cover last time.
Exactly, and one of my favorite bands of all time. And I end up bringing a lot to the, a lot of riffs to the table and lyrics. Jimmy would bring stuff, and actually, ever since Eric joined the band, he's been bringing a lot of material and riffs to the band. Actually, the fifth song that we played tonight was a song that Eric wrote, Since You Know. That was all him. So he's been writing a ton of stuff. A lot of our new material is stuff that Eric's been coming up with. So he's going to be adding a lot to the band soon.
Yeah, I was going to say, what about new material? Do you have anything down the line here soon?
We're working on a few different songs. Maybe 2 or 3 we have sort of solid, but I know we're going to be working on a bit more.
All right.
We almost played one here tonight. Actually, because we have one pretty much complete, and we were thinking about it. And
you should have.
Yeah.
There's no lyrics.
All right, let's go back.
Yeah. And that's what you said. You're like, there's no song title. We can't play that. So, all right.
Just obituary it.
Yeah, perfect. Obituary.
Just
Exactly.
make noises.
Yeah, exactly. Which is basically what I was going to do. And then these guys are like, oh no, you don't want that. So I was denied.
I forgot my next question.
That's all right.
Do you do all the lyrics?
I do most of them. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
What do you got, Christy? Anything?
Well, I asked about the album cover. Oh, so who did the previous album cover?
So
Sarah.
Nick didn't he?
Yeah, Nick did. Our old guitar player Nick took a photo when he was on a flight, and he did some Photoshop with it, and he edited it, and I'm like, yeah, that's perfect. You know, I wish I had more to elaborate on it, but that's basically what it was.
It was one of the questions rattling in my head. So where do you record?
So actually, we recorded.
Your spare bedroom.
Yeah, literally in my room, in my apartment was where 80%.
The House of Doubt.
The House of Doubt, exactly. But we did the drum tracks with Mike Meach of Abandoned Studios. He's a phenomenal artist and musician in South. He's in lots of bands in Binghamton. He's in Grown Ups right now. Phenomenal person. And we recorded the drums on the album with him, and then we did the rest of it in my studio in my apartment. All guitars, bass, and I mixed it, mastered it, and everything. So
when you're doing like local shows, where are you guys playing right now in Binghamton?
So right now there's a phenomenal venue called the Bundy Museum of Art, and it's basically this old museum of all the Rod Serling artifacts from the Twilight Zone, and like old typewriters and industry from Binghamton, and they have like clocks on the wall, and they have like a whole barber shop in front of a bar. It's a really incredible place to play, and if any bands are listening to this, highly recommend coming down to Bing to play. It's like no other venue I've ever played. And that's where most of the original stuff's going on right now. There's some stuff going on at Thirsties, but there's really not a lot of venues in Bing right now. So that's where most of it's happening.
Especially for original music.
That's why I had to ask, because I was like, I don't know where to go to. I don't know if I was going to see a show in Binghamton, where would I go?
Yeah, that's where you want to go. And the Bundy Museum's kind of hidden from the main street too. You kind of have to know what you're looking for. It's kind of like an underground space, which in some ways is cool, but at the same time, it can be harder to draw people up because it's harder to find. So,
and clubs open and close all the time.
They do.
I mean, there's a few that have been around forever, like the Lost Horizon.
Yeah.
The Penny Arcade lasted a real long time.
A long time, I remember.
Another effect of that pandemic was so many clubs closed.
Yeah.
We lost the Haunt, and we lost the Haunt. We were going to lose the Haunt regardless.
Yeah.
But the pandemic didn't help.
No.
And for anyone who doesn't know, the Haunt basically was pushed out by the city. So
really? I didn't know what happened to it.
Yeah, they decided they wanted to expand their nature trail where the Haunt was.
Got it.
So they kind of forced them to move, but they had nowhere to move to. So I forget what's his name, who does all the big name shows. I think has the right to the name.
Really?
And he was going to Dan Smalls.
Dan Smalls. Oh, yeah.
I think Dan Smalls. I could be wrong, but I think Dan Smalls actually owns the name.
Okay.
And he was planning on opening it again somewhere, but it's not happened.
That's crazy, yeah, because I would think that, especially in a place like Ithaca that has such a prolific art scene, that, I mean, people would be clamoring, basically, breaking down the walls to be able to space like that. Because I was wondering what happened. I'm like, really? The Haunt closed down? How did that happen,
Closed down and got demolished.
Yeah, I did see it got demolished, which really surprised me.
And
it was a great place.
It was one of my favorite places ever.
Yeah. I think it was during lockdown. You could watch it live stream them actually taking it down. It was really sad.
Yeah.
They were taking like all of the. Actually, everything has been preserved. So all the stuff on the wall, it's still a thing. It's just, I don't know if it's how quickly it's all gonna be resurfacing.
I hope it does, because I think that Ithaca really could use a venue like that right now, and I really miss. I mean, a lot of the best shows I've ever seen have been there. I mean, I saw, Kai Lusted there, Cephalic Carnage. I saw Today's the Day there. There's, all sorts of shows that I've seen there, and it's weird that it's not there anymore. It just feels like it should have always been there. I felt like,
Well, right now, Deep Dive is going to be picking up some of the slack of that being gone.
Oh, nice.
And even Black Flag is playing there next week.
Really?
Yeah.
That is incredible.
That's awesome.
That is really awesome.
And how much are the tickets for that?
It was $52.
It's funny to me that the DIY early punk bands are now charging insane amounts.
Over $50 for a ticket. I know, right? It's just like, what happened there,
Like in Buffalo, I saw one with like Circle Jerks and two other bands. I'm like,
really?
Ooh,
It's also 52.
Yeah.
What?
It was also 52.
Was it 52?
52.
It seemed like everything was 52.
Yeah,
and I was like,
that's the new DIY rule. It's got to be $52 a ticket.
And I'm like, I'd go see this. Oh, not for $52.
Exactly.
No. Plus all the money it cost me to get to Buffalo.
Yeah, it's for real. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy anymore.
My Misfits ticket in 2019 at the Garden, that was $150. And it was like a nosebleed, but
I mean, I get it. All these bands are older.
I had to see it.
They're kind of sweeping up what they can while they still can.
Oh yeah.
It's their retirement plan
Yeah,
because like they
basically.
have no other money.
Exactly.
So they charge you 52. It's
Exactly.
the 52 retirement plan.
It's a health insurance. You head bang, you do a stage dive. It's risky now. So that's what it is.
So what's been some of your favorite shows you've played?
Honestly, I mean, it's a boring answer, but really, every time we get to do this, it is a gift to be able to do it. Especially after going through the pandemic, especially after, not knowing if we'd ever be able to play a live show again in a normal way. But we're really excited about our next show up in Rochester. We're gonna be playing at Montage Music Hall. It's gonna be a really good time. We're gonna be playing August 9th, so we'll be up there, and we're working on lots of stuff.
Who are you playing with?
Actually, it hasn't been. I don't know, to be honest.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
okay.
you put me on the spot here.
I will say, playing at the Lost Horizon for me was like a big honor because I saw so many bands there as a kid.
It's kind of
and
strange to be on the other side.
yeah, like I saw Life of Agony
Oh, this is
there,
what the
and
back room
Yes.
was.
Converge,
It was
and
weird.
Yeah.
man, so many. Today's the Day I saw there. Saw High on Fire.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah. I saw Mastodon there
Who's
too.
the punk band we saw there? Against Me. Against Me.
That was awesome.
I don't know, just so many legendary bands.
Oh, yeah.
playing
Yeah,
there.
Menzingers, saw them there too.
Yeah, so like to be in that back room, it's like a real small, like cringy back
Yeah.
room, but
Yep.
like it was just
Kinda
like
back
these guys and girls that I looked up to like growing up. They were like hanging out back here. I don't know,
There's a lot
like
of
That was pretty cool.
being a kid again.
yeah, and that couch probably has some new pathogens in it.
Oh, boy.
It's a very it's a petri dish. I'll put it that way.
We had gone. This is like early '90s. We go into the Lost Horizon, and they had added all these couches,
Really, that's when it was added.
and we were like, "Oh, that's pretty cool."
Yeah.
Wait, is it cool?
Yeah,
I mean, at least these
Yeah.
solid seats can be wiped down.
yeah. Well, there's probably whole civilizations in those couches.
Exactly.
Yeah, for real. Especially going back to the '90s, you have mutations, and we should have Cornell do a study on those couches at the Lost Horizon. That's what we need to do.
I'm sure they clean them thoroughly every night.
Yeah, every single night.
Did you guys
every
ever
hour?
play at the country club or go there ever
No.
in Syracuse?
No.
Okay, I was sitting at the bar and there was like a centipede caterpillar combination.
Really?
And then the spikes coming off, it was like this big just crawling across the bar.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is a really dark room. If
Yeah.
that's on the bar,
Yeah.
what is everywhere else?
Yeah. What is in the drinks? That's what you drink. Yeah, you don't even want to know.
Where's the place we saw Crowbar? Well, we saw him at the Lost Horizon. too.
Westcott Theater in
Yes.
Syracuse.
okay.
That would be a cool place to play.
Yeah, that would be phenomenal. Saul Melvin's there too.
So here's the harder
That's a
question.
good one.
What's some of the weirdest stuff that's happened to you while playing?
That's a
Here we
very
go.
big. Yeah, here we go.
That's all top.
I want to put me on the spot actually. Let me think about it. Just, it's funny because actually, what's funny about it is like I told a story the last time I was on the air.
It's
and that's
still probably the weirdest.
yeah. So the story that we talked about with this guy asking if we wanted to look at his wife putting our stickers over his wife's nipples. That's still the topper. That's still
he
the
wanted a free T-shirt.
yeah. He wanted a free T-shirt out of it. That's still the weirdest thing that we've ever gone through as a band.
He puts
Like,
his wife out there to get a free T-shirt.
yeah.
Apparently, this
To me, it's like disrespectful. Why would you do that to your wife? It's like, I don't know.
Well, clearly, she must have been game.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
have an arrangement.
Yeah.
It's an arrangement they have,
Yeah.
apparently.
She'll steal the shirt later.
Yeah, exactly. She'll steal it later. Like for real. I mean, that's still the weirdest thing that we've ever had. Like, I guess, which is really odd because we had a whole entire pandemic between now and then, where all sorts of weird things happen in the world. So yeah, I mean, I did. I had to think long and hard. For a good 7 seconds. And like, yeah, I don't really have anything else.
wasn't that at Galaxy too?
That was at Galaxy.
Did they shut down because of the pandemic?
They
too?
should. Well, what happened was
That was a great venue in Binghamton. Galaxy.
I think I only went there once. I saw DRI play.
Oh yeah, Kevin set that up.
yeah. Our friend Kevin Kober was
that was
phenomenal.
awesome.
Yeah, he was playing in what band at
He
the
was
time?
doing that cover band for Alienation.
No,
or
there was a crossover band he was in. If I'm thinking of the same person.
Talk Hard.
Talk Hard.
Talk Hard. Okay,
Because
sorry about that.
they were opening. It was Talk Hard.
Yep.
It was Dialysis from Syracuse,
Yes.
who
That's
literally
right.
got to play 2 songs because the guitar player started playing, broke a string, And then they're like, okay, well, we can still do some of these songs. So they started doing the second song and broke another string. And he just took his guitar and just chucked it across the stage.
It's rock and roll right there. You know? That's a good show.
They're like, we're done.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. If we don't have any more strings left, that's it, you know? Or just, they should have asked somebody to go to Guitar Center to buy him strings and then play after the next band, you know? Just, I don't know.
But, that was a nice venue. So
It was.
I think
Really
that's the only
enjoyed it.
time I went there.
Yeah, that was a cool place.
It was a really nice venue, and actually our friend, what's that?
Very good beer.
Actually, really good beer. Actually, my friend Seth actually ran it. So Seth Weisel, he actually opened it up with his father, and I think they sold it to some guys out of town, and they just haven't reopened it, which is a real shame. It's a phenomenal venue, and I know I miss it. I miss going there. I miss the beer too.
So do you have any music videos?
No, and in fact, we've been talking about doing that, and we have a song in mind, and we're kind of, we're still stuck in, 1978 as far as the musical approach is concerned, and we need to bring ourselves to 2024 with a music video. But yeah, we've thought about it, and we might be having one here, in a few months or so. So.
Okay. Cool.
I like to think we're Metallica, but in reality, nobody else cares. But like over Metallica, we don't need a music video. It's like, just nobody cares.
One of the list of things that bothered me about Metallica early on, we'll never do a music video.
Yeah.
Then they do one for one, which I was fine with.
One was actually a great
That was
music
a great
video.
music.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then they did 3 for 1. And it's like, okay, now you just went from none to we're going to do 3 for the same song.
Exactly.
And then music videos started pouring out of them.
Well,
It's
of
like,
course,
oh, you made money, so forget what you said before.
Yeah, money corrupts real quick.
And I don't know if it's to me isn't them being corrupted. That's
To
just
be fair,
smart.
that's probably true.
That's just smart. Okay, we should make music videos.
Well, right, Yeah.
It's what was really getting stuff out there. I have other issues with Metallica because they're one of the few bands I ever feel actually sold out.
Exactly. That's why I went there.
But not because of that.
Right. Well, no. I mean, it's very interesting their career arc. It's like you look at the Black Album, and I think there's a lot of great songs in the Black Album.
There
but
are
even
good
then-
songs in the Black
I
Album.
agree.
But even then, you can kind of see signs of it happening. The songs, it wasn't as thrashy. Bob Rock, produced on, which, by the way, it was a phenomenal sounding album. I mean,
Yes.
sonically, it
Yeah.
sounded incredible. But then you had, the Load albums come out. But for me, I even like songs on like Load and Reload.
I do too, man.
Yeah, but Saint Anger was like,
Yeah.
ooh, no, no.
Okay, here's my Saint Anger story.
All right, let's hear it.
I had not heard the record yet.
Yeah.
I was about to head out to the Metallica Onslaught when they were still broadcasting live up
Alright.
in Geneva.
Mhm.
And I turned the radio on,
Mhm.
and he was playing a track from it. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh dear God, this is awful. Why are you playing this? And I honestly thought it was like a garage recording from a local band who didn't know any better.
Oh yeah, that's what it sounded
And
like.
so mentally I'm thinking, I gotta find out who this is so I never play it. And then I realized it was Metallica. I think I caught some of the lyrics and went, no.
Yeah, no way.
There's no...
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, there's one in that in the song Saint Anger, and it's like the absolute corniest lyrical I've ever heard in my life. Where it's like tick tock tock, like something like that. It was just I heard that and like that literally took 2 seconds to ruin Metallica for me for about like 5 years after hearing that. And then the other one is like I'm madly angry with you. I don't know the song names because I literally heard it. I'm like I don't ever want to listen to this again either.
Right.
But yeah, he's like, I'm madly in anger with you. And I'm like, no, like, I'm not angry. I'm like, I'm at home, I'm eating, a nice filet mignon, and like, I'm not angry. Like, I'm cool, I can't relate to this right now. I mean, that's not the real reason. It's just corny and terrible. But
Yeah.
Could be. There's so much money. The's nothing to write about anymore.
Yeah, you don't
Exactly.
have that angst.
No, exactly. No, I think that's
it's
true
so
too.
bad when that happens.
Yeah.
It's like just stop.
Mhm.
You could just stop. Get
Look-
into something other.
Like I am all for bands breaking big.
Me too. Actually, for real.
The first time I heard System of a Down, I went, this is really cool and unique. And I went, they're going to go nowhere
Yeah.
because this is so different
Yeah.
from everything else.
Exactly.
But when they broke it big, I was like, yes, congratulations, you
And-
broke that
Exactly.
ceiling,
And I'm so happy you said that too. 'Cause I am 150% about bands being as big as they can possibly get, because I really think that the whole culture in the 90s, and this culture of selling out in punk rock and metal,
Yeah.
and I really feel like that was at the time we had these giant record companies who were controlling all these bands that were coming out. And at that time, the concept of a sellout was a real threat, it was a real thing. Where now, all the record companies are in the dumps, you know?
Yeah.
And you can literally make a record from your house, which is what we did, and do whatever you want. And at this point, I'm in the opposite spectrum because I think, hey, you know, a lot of people aren't listening to rock music anymore because in a lot of ways, punk rock won the battle, if that makes any sense. Where, you know, we were able
Like the DIY.
yeah, to DIY.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can
Make
make
your own record.
make your own records, you know, play your own shows. You don't need a record label to do it. And, you know, now because bands have the authority and the ability to do whatever they want in 2024, you know, I am all about them getting as big as possible because there isn't any corruption of the artistic process when it comes to it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think I would love to see all my favorite bands get huge and be able to make, you know, enough money to be able to do what they love to do for a living. I think it's incredible.
The only downside is when a band gets really big and you hear it constantly.
That's true. Yep.
You know, like you mentioned Nirvana. So
Yeah.
I heard Smells Like Teen Spirit before it got big.
Yes.
And I was like, wow, this is really good.
Yep.
A friend of mine had Bleach. I heard that. Went, wow, I really like this.
Exactly.
And then I literally knew people who would take Smells Like Teen Spirit, record it on a cassette tape over and over on both sides.
Ouch.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I can never hear this song again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, why would you do that? Just rewind it. You know?
Well, this way they didn't have to rewind it. It just kept playing.
Yeah, exactly. Just put it on the tape and listen to it for 5 hours straight, I guess. you
And the
know?
thing is, the whole record was good. Why are you obsessing over this one song?
Well,
you
right.
know?
I agree.
On a Plane's
That's
my
really
favorite
weird.
song off that album. You know, I love On a Plane. It's one of my favorite songs of all time.
Which song?
On a Plane.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember that offhand. It's been
I
a
do
long
think I remember
time
that one.
since I've listened to Nirvana.
Yeah, it's the
I'm on a plane, something.
yeah, it's the second to last song
I
on the
can't
album.
complain.
I can't complain. There you go.
Which one did you cover in 2020?
Something in the Wind.
Okay.
Yep.
And you played it, and I went, I know this song.
Yeah. That's what I said. I mean, oh, I know this song. You know, I finally learned it after you learned it. You know, that's actually not true, but
And it's funny because, you know, bands like Nirvana get credited with killing metal.
Mhm.
Well, obviously, metal didn't die.
no.
I think what happened is that the hair bands in particular were already starting to wane.
Yes.
And then that came along, and the record companies went, you know what, we don't need the hair bands. Let's sign every band that sounds like Nirvana.
Every single band. You know, but even Tad got signed to a major label, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I think Nirvana could be pretty heavy at times too. So.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of this stuff made it through metal radio before it got big.
Yeah.
You know, metal radio was playing Nirvana, and it was playing Soundgarden.
Yeah,
it was playing.
I love Soundgarden,
It was just
too.
mixed in with
Same.
metal because
Yeah.
it had that loud, abrasive sound.
Exactly.
Soundgarden gets very heavy at times.
Yeah, Soundgarden was good.
And I think you're onto something with that too, because I mean, a lot of the hair bands, and it's funny. I mean, this is something Dee Snider said in an interview one time, and it made complete sense to me. And he said, all those hair metal bands were doing power ballads. Like Extremes out there, you're doing like Unplugged. You know, it's like More Than Words is coming out. It's like that's not metal. You know, a lot of the hair bands are doing stuff like that. And then let's be compared. Compare Smells Like Teen Spirit to those. Like Smells Like Teen Spirit, that's a rocking song. It's also a song that everyone's sick of, but it's still a really rocking song compared to all that stuff. And it was something new, and it broke out. And I'll be straight up. That's the song that got me into music when I was 12 years old.
Which song?
So Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Yeah, nice.
It was not overly romantic like those hair metal ballads. Those
Exactly.
were too
Yes,
much.
Yeah,
They
it
were
was.
too
Easy and
sappy.
Nope.
Yeah.
Do you know Betancourt's a great guitar player?
Yeah, he is.
I will say.
a lot of the hair metal bands had super talented musicians, but
Absolutely.
you just didn't hear it in the songs.
Right.
You know, they do
Oh, yeah.
solos or something, and you'd be like, holy crap, you could play.
Mm-hmm.
There
You
was
know?
one Extreme album that was really hard actually, and it wasn't not that album with
Yeah.
More Than Words, but
Right.
and I kept hearing about it, and I was like, I'm not sure I want to try it because I don't want to get past. I can't get past More Than Words.
Well, right, exactly.
But it was true. It was a heavier album, and
Yeah.
it was actually more metal. It just didn't get any attention.
I think they're kind of one of the bands that got like pushed into that label.
Yeah, like Nelson, and I don't know if
Yeah.
Nelson did anything other than.
Yeah.
Like Saigon Kick has some heavier stuff
Yeah.
too.
Yes.
Especially the first Saigon Kick record is a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, and they what's that ballad? They had one ballad.
Yeah,
out.
one ballad, that's what everyone knows them for, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, even, okay, so early Striper of all bands was fairly heavy. And then they did a couple of ballads which are beyond cheesy.
Yeah. To hell with the devil.
The song "The Hell with the Devil's"
That's the
heavy.
heavier.
No, I actually don't know. I just know the song. I actually don't know the song very well.
And they're very talented musicians.
Yeah.
And so, but they did those ballads, and those ballads are so awful. That's all anyone thinks of when
Well,
you
right.
mention Stryper. So if you listen to New Stryper, there's New Stryper.
Really, there's new Striper.
It is
Wow, I
incredibly
didn't know
heavy.
that.
They still tour.
Really? I gotta check that out.
Yeah, it is
Cool.
really, really heavy.
All right. When did that come out? Did that come out recently?
Yeah, they've released 3-4 records
Really?
in the last, I don't know, 10 years.
Yeah, I gotta check that out now. Because I would never expect that from Striper.
It's still not a band I'd go listen to per se, but like I put it like one of my co-hosts picked it as
Yeah.
a song to play on the show, and I went and listened to it and went, "This is Stryper? My God, this sounds like a death metal band."
Yeah, exactly. Striper's a death metal band now.
I
you know?
want to see Stryper, but I want to see Stryper with a major Stryper fan. I don't want to go for myself. I
Exactly.
want to see them
Yeah.
get to see Stryper.
We just gotta go like congregate all the churches in the area and be like, hey, is there any Striper fans here? See, that's what I would do. Like, let's
West
go.
definitely has a lot of Stryper.
Yeah. Anyone like Striper? Let's go. Let's go see Striper live. I'd be all about it. You know?
So how much does hair metal influence your sound?
It's a very good question.
I mean,
I'm sure it's in there because we listen to everything. You know.
I'll admit I'm a sucker for hair metal.
Oh, that's nothing wrong with that.
But I do love heavier stuff, obviously too.
Yeah.
But like, I'm kind of want to ask Soraya.
Yeah.
Like Def Leppard, Motley Crue, and some
I
other
love Def Leppard.
some other like hair bands have survived the test of time. What's so special about those bands?
That's a really good question.
Yeah, that's a very
Like,
good question.
I mean,
There's bands like what's it, like Warrant, but
It
Ma-
is.
like
Cherry
they
pie.
kinda, like I thought Janie Lane had a fantastic voice, and
Yeah.
they had a great guitar player. I can't remember
Well,
his name right now. But go ahead. I'm
when you
sorry.
talk about Def Leppard, I mean, Leppard started in the late 70s.
Yeah.
They were part
That
of the
makes
new wave
sense.
of British heavy metal.
Yes.
Pyromania is considered one of the
Oh my
best
God.
records ever.
It is one of the best records.
You
That
know,
is a great
Yeah.
record.
It's,
The one after it, I hated the one after it. The one that really got them even bigger.
see, I kind of
Pour
there's
Some
some.
Sugar on Me album.
Yeah, which is,
Sugar
to
album.
me, that's what it sounded like they did. They just sugar-coated their
I
sound.
got some guilty pleasures off that I like. You know, I'd be straight
We all
up.
do, though.
But
That's the
The
thing.
Syria, I love the song in Syria. I love the
But
song.
the thing
It's
is,
great.
it got insanely big.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So even though most of the stuff after that's not good, they're still riding that wave of pyromania and hysteria.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So they will be able to keep going because
That makes a lot.
people want to go see them to see those songs played.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Motley Crue, I mean, Motley Crue are hit and miss. I like the first two. The first one's a punk record, really.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And the second one's a straight up metal record.
Yeah.
And then the third one is a glam record.
Yep.
Girls, Girls, Girls is just terrible.
Yep.
Dr. Feelgood got a little heavier, and I don't even know what came after that.
Was it the
I like a lot of
self-titled?
songs.
Self-titled without
John
Vince,
Corabi?
maybe? Yeah. Which I never got into, but a lot of people love that record.
There's
So
some heavy moments in that record.
Yeah,
I
it's
will
just
say
for
it.
some reason never clicked with me. I don't think it's a bad
Yeah.
record, but I think what happens is you have, again, this early music that had such an impact on people, and they know they're going to play it.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, they play "Shout at the Devil" every time. I
Right,
know that.
you know, even if Vince can't sing it.
Oh,
Yeah, no, he can't
You
sing.
really can't.
No, he.
It's so
Can he sing
rough.
There's no
anything?
question.
No, it's just like you worry for his safety anytime he sings. It seems like
Hey,
anymore.
but the good thing about it is that any of us could get on stage and sing it. We might even do better.
Exactly.
No, you can't do much worse.
Yeah, why don't we petition that right now? Who's a record label right now? Actually, they probably don't have a label.
I will say
Right,
one
Yeah,
thing
well, let's
about-
go sing. Offer to sing for Motley Crue. Let's go do it.
I will say
Done.
one thing about Vince though. I give him credit
Yeah.
for not lip syncing.
True. I think that's a very good
True.
point.
That's pretty.
Yeah.
Like, even though it's kind of rough, it's still authentic.
That's true.
I
That's
guess
true.
another thing too, he's putting himself out there in a way that's not even flattering to himself or his bandmates. I'm assuming,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so they can all go out there and still do it. So there is that. That's it.
No, that's cool. No, that's actually that's a very good point actually.
When
That
it came out that Blackie Lawless was lip syncing a lot of the last tour.
Oh, from Wasp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people were showing examples where he wasn't even close to what the lyrics were
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And some people were like, I don't care, I just want to see Wasp, and I get that. But other people made the point of, I don't care if he sounds worse.
Yeah.
Like, I want to hear Blackie.
I agree.
You know,
Yeah.
like, But I don't know.
Do you guys think Paul Stanley was lip syncing on that last Kiss tour?
Not probably.
I did
Yeah.
go see it live, so
Did
I
you?
can assure you that he was.
Fair enough.
There you go.
Because
There it is.
if you'd heard him speak in between songs, he sounded like an old woman. And I love the man. I'm not gonna.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love Kiss. I'm a huge
They got
Kiss
some
fan.
great stuff.
But I
Yeah.
will say straight up, like I will be honest about it. Something's not right with his voice. I don't see how he could sing.
Was Gene singing? Or
I hope so. I can always hope.
yeah.
I mean, I love Gene's singing more than Paul's actually. I loved Ace Frehley, so that's a big problem for me that they have treated him
love
so
Ace,
poorly.
yeah.
And I don't know what he did, but I'm sure he did something too. So every one of them did something, I'm sure.
That's cool though.
Yeah, my least two favorite metal bands are Kiss and Metallica.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you guys know, but Ace Frehley is doing a free. He's doing a free set up at the state fair.
Really?
Yeah,
That's pretty
I don't know.
There you
what day
go.
it is. I can find out, but I don't know a day.
Let's
If
go.
you look
Let's
at
do
the
that.
like the Chevy Court like or whatever it's called list, it's
Yeah.
on there and it's free.
Oh, got you. Yeah, check it
Well,
out.
let's get back to you guys real
All right.
quick here.
Mm-hmm.
Social media. Where are you?
All right, we're on Facebook, Instagram. We're on Spotify, YouTube, Bandcamp, and all streaming services. If you look, so yeah, I mean, we
I
try.
just started a Threads page for us too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Actually, ironically, I'm learning this for the first time right now.
Yeah.
That's not even.
I didn't tell anybody yet.
No, I need. Yeah, you literally didn't tell anybody yet. I'm literally learning this for the first
I
time.
was
So like,
waiting for the interview.
yeah, actually, yeah. So in that case, we're on Threads now.
By
That's,
the way, Tom.
yeah, what's that?
No, it's by the way, Tom.
Yeah, by the way, Tom. Yeah, not gonna tell you. You know, no, it's yeah, pretty much everywhere, and
Do you have physical CDs?
we do actually.
Okay.
You know, so
And
those are-
anything else like shirts or anything?
yeah, we got shirts, t-shirts, stickers, and you know, hopefully we'll be doing expanding our merch for Horizons
And
here
some
pretty soon.
pins.
Yeah, we got pins. Yeah, we sold out of the pins, so we need new
We need
ones.
the Tom Dowd keychain.
The Tom Dowd keychain. What is the Tom Dowd keychain?
Just a big picture of you on the keychain.
Perfect.
Like your face.
Awesome. Let's do that. I'm all about that. All right.
I need more on the keychain.
Yeah, there you go. There it is. You know, if anybody wants to make that, I'm all ears. Apparently, I don't know.
And where is the most consistent place you update stuff on social media?
Facebook and
Facebook,
Instagram.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
So-
I'd say they're pretty easy.
If people want to find your upcoming shows, that's the place to go.
That's the place to go. Absolutely.
All right. Thank you guys for hanging out and having
Thanks.
this fun conversation.
Hey, thank you, Soraya. You know, we appreciate everything, and hey, you know, we can't wait to be back here very soon.
All right.
Yeah,
Awesome.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.